In early September, the Kenyan government declared the ongoing drought in some parts of the country a national disaster. The intensified heat waves are pushing livestock herders into poverty, breaking up families and communities and triggering new disputes over land and resources.
As of now, the human beings themselves are dying.
While prolonged droughts are destroying livelihoods in the northeastern part of Kenya, some villages along the shores of Lake Turkana are being turned into islands. Rising waters are displacing people as homes sink into the lake.
This area was dry land, and we used to walk on foot from Loyangalani to buy fish. We used to walk on the road here, and vehicles would pass here, and we would walk through this place when going home.
It is really abnormal. It has blocked us. We look like people who have been isolated in a corner. We are just surviving here. It is hard to do business, and moving out of this area is difficult.
And it's because the earth has been hit hard by the effect of global warming, and Africa is feeling the heat. According to the World Food Programme, 4 years of drought in southern Madagascar had led to the world's first climate change-induced famine. In the Sahel, increasing desertification and drought is pushing cattle herders further south into the savanna areas largely occupied by crop farmers. Nancy Githaiga, the country director of African Wildlife Foundation in Kenya, says it's time that Africa's situation is put higher up on the global agenda.
If we are not facing famine, if it's not drought, then we are having floods like we see in Mozambique, like every other year. We are talking food insecurity. We are talking about water scarcity. In terms of wildlife, we are having wildlife going into community areas looking for water. All this because of climate extremes.
So what are Africa's demands at COP-26?
For what we are saying, what Africa needs more are resources going into adaptation. So we are key on an adaptation goal, and also importantly on climate finance.
Developed countries pledged to donate $100 billion per year for climate action in developing countries by 2020. Nancy says it's absurd that while $20 trillion have been mobilized by developed countries to tackle COVID-19, they are yet to pay money meant for climate action in developing countries, which is just a fraction of the COVID-19 stimulus.
What we are saying is that the commitments that have been made in the past is not sufficient, and unfortunately this was also not met. So we are looking at more financing and more commitments, and actually actioning that commitment, not just a commitment.
Experts like Nancy argue that Africa's path to climate change adaptation and mitigation must by necessity diverge from those of industrialized countries. The continent is also at the center of the policy debate on energy. While rich in fossil fuels, Africans are energy poor. Enoxy Kolia, CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.